how does one pray in the new context of an evolving universe without this, the religious stories being the prominent way we learn to pray? And so a person can have their intention and desire be their prayer and allow that prayer or longing to transcend words and images. This is our attempt over many, many years to do that. So if the body is the earth universe in the form of the body of the person, then they are carrying the whole memory of the universe and earth and all human life. So this is a way to integrate that and recover the memory that has been lost by our cultural stories of the last several thousand years. So the directions are just a metaphor for the journey of personal life, earth life, seasonal life, universe life. It's archetypal. So Kelly is facing the east, which means everything about new beginnings in the journey. Whether morning, which is a new beginning every day, or spring, which is a new beginning in the seasons. It's an attempt to unlock the meaning archetypically of beginnings. So her body is she's going to pray in three distinct gestures. The first is moving towards that meaning direction in the east and making an arc with her arm to allow the heart to be opened. And then she makes a gesture of thanks. Then using the other arm and leg, she steps and does the same thing, asking for the blessings of new beginnings, and then saying thank you for them. Now the second gesture really talks about a deep, deep sense of time and memory, because the memory of all that is in the universe. So when she bends down to ask the blessing of the universe, it is a gesture that says all revelation, all memory comes through that. But our bodies, which carry all the elements of everything that's happened since the beginning of time, it's in our bodies. So she's asking to activate those memories at the cellular level and allow them now to penetrate her conscious, self-aware mind, the rational mind, and also the whole web of meaning that the culture has to which she belongs. And without betraying that culture, she's saying, I will accept everything, good and bad, but I want to ground it back in its origin, in the depths of Earth's memory, universe's memory, so that the way I behave and live my life can be a blessing to the rest of the Earth community. Now, the third gesture is really about the difficulty as Western people, we have as Western people, to accept the opposites in existence. We like certain things, we don't like other things. We put everything into hierarchies. We like the night, or we don't like the night. We like the day, we don't like the day. So we make these choices, and we are losing contact with the polarities which make everything possible. So you can't have day without night. So she's trying to say in gesture that she wants to bring those opposites and polarities together. And the only place they can be together is in the human psyche, the human heart. So this gesture is to say that. So she's going to step out, take in the blessing of that direction, the teaching, bring it into her being, and then face the opposite, connect it back to its opposite, and then draw from the opposite those meanings and gifts and bring them into her heart with an acceptance of the opposite, the polarity. And once that's happened, then she can face the next direction, which in this case is the direction of the south, which represents noontime, youth, summer, in the seasonal and day-night turning, and in the life of anything. Goes through stages from infancy to death. So she's facing youth. So she's asking for all the gifts and the layers of meaning of that direction and saying thank you for them. Now she's acknowledging that all those meanings come from the universe and Earth itself, not from our history or stories. And she's awakening those ancient memories that her body has, but which may not necessarily have been taught to her in her self-conscious mind. So she wants that all to be integrated. And accepting the culture she lives in her own story, she is wishing, intending to ground it back into the longer, older story. So her life and her activities can become a blessing. And she faces that direction, takes all of it in and into her heart, and realizes that she has to make friends and peace with its opposite. So she's giving those blessings to the opposite direction, pulling them back into herself where they're made one in a unity, and that's her wish for this day. So now she's facing west, which represents the twilight of the day. The sun has moved across the sky from morning to noon, and now is in the afternoon. And so things are quieting down. And it's a metaphor for autumn, when things start to change. And it's a metaphor for the maturing of a human single person into adulthood, into the ability to reflect on their lives. So she is asking for that gift of the creativity, the introspection that is part of what the West represents. So the inner world, the inner life, is part of the universe from the beginning. So she's acknowledging that. And trying to awaken the long memory of that, which her body holds, but which was not necessarily understood by the culture in which she grew up. So she wants to bring that into it. And not leave the culture, but work within the culture to ground it back down in the memory. In other words, tell the story, tell the big story, so we can be more mutual with the rest of the life community. And it depends on being willing to take the universe as it is, the earth as it is, with the easy and the difficult. So working with opposites is critical to becoming whole. Now she's facing the north, which is a direction which simply represents symbolically nighttime in the day-night sequence. It's nighttime, it's dark. It's the time of winter, it's a time of hibernation, it's a time of old age moving into death. It's letting go, it's surrender. It's a different time, and one must go through that process to be reborn. So it's a little more difficult to face north. But it's full of gifts, because it's in the dark and in death that we are given a new opportunity to transform ourselves. So facing into the chaos, cataclysm, all these teachings of the universe that say death and chaos is significant, is absolutely essential. We want to remember that and stop running away from it. Our whole culture, our whole life is a resistance to death. So we want to accept it by giving it its deeper meaning. And pray that the whole culture will grow into that, so we stop our war making and our conflicts and our refusal to accept the death of things. And that has to do with polarity. You can't have light without death. You can't have night without noontime. You can't have winter without summer. And then you've completed the whole four prayers before each direction, and that is the end of this part of the body prayer, or the salutation prayer. And it's followed by just stopping for a moment and pausing to think about this very day. And everything is made new each morning. And it gives us a new opportunity to grow and evolve and develop our deep potential. So the gesture of taking 3 steps is part of the prayer. So the first step represents an acceptance of oneself as being deeper than our small personal self. We are in truth the universe self, become the earth self, become our individual self. And living in that mystery is very challenging, but the step says, I want to try to do that. The second step, which is yes, means yes, I will enter into this, is into this day. So this is a new day, new opportunities. We changed from yesterday. We just came out of night. All possibilities are open to us. And so saying yes to that means living consciously in the day and in its minute-by-minute opportunities. And the third step is a step that says, I accept the mystery of the whole thing. I'll never understand it all, and the mystery will continue to challenge me, but I enter it. I accept it and say yes to it. First gesture, step out, make as wide a circle as you can with your arm, come back to the center, receive it, and say thank you. Then with the other arm, same thing, you're asking the blessing of that archetype. Receive it, thank you. Now the second one is the acknowledgement that all the meanings we've created for everything, for humans, comes from the universe itself. And when she bends down to ask those revelations, she's going back to the fireball. So think of her standing in the deep interiority of the universe, 13 billion years. That's what she's drawing up into herself, because her body knows it. All the cells carry that, but her mind does. Our minds don't. So that's what she's pulling up, and she is waking up her cellular memory to bring that up into her conscious memory, cultural memory. Okay. Separate the feet, go down. She's drawing up from 13 billion years, puts her feet together. It's a little awkward. We're trying to work on that. She's awakening the cells in her body by coming up through her body, and not till she reaches her neck does she turn and then direct that memory up into the sphere of consciousness, her own and the whole of Western civilization and history. And she accepts it all, but her intention is to ground the psychic, cultural memory back down. Her body is the vehicle she's trying to do it through, so that her life, her blessing, her actions can be grace and blessing and goodness for her. So she is going to step out to embrace the polarities, the gift of the direction she's facing, and she's bringing it back into her heart. Do that gesture one more time, please, Kelly. And think of her almost as Spider Woman, standing in the center of the world, drawing from one direction and bringing it into herself. And then she's going to turn and face the opposite. Sew it into the other. Pull it back in. Now it's one, and then you pivot and you're facing the next direction.